Welcome back to B for Crypto, and yes, we saw this dump towards the downside for Bitcoin, losing this very important trend line again. So guys, is this the time to sell our Bitcoin and buy Pepe coin? Because yes guys, we saw this massive pump from Wednesday all the way up to this new high of 691%. So guys, is this the right area to buy Pepe exactly now? And what is Pepe? We're going to find out exactly that in today's video. So guys, but mainly we're going to focus on Bitcoin, so let's directly start with this video. On the daily chart, yes guys, we can see that Bitcoin once again broke this very important trend line towards the downside. So what could we expect? Are we going to see this dump all the way back down to the 25,000 US dollar level? Guys, first of all, we have to look at the overall trend, and we're going to start exactly here where Bitcoin came all the way up into this major resistance area and coming all the way to the 28,800 US dollar level, and then we saw this consolidation. But first of all, this was our high, and afterwards we could see that this was our low for Bitcoin, and afterwards we have formed higher highs, and this tells us that Bitcoin was in a bullish phase. And then we could see that Bitcoin came all the way up to the 31,000 US dollar, forming even a higher high, and that was our bullish structure. But guys, we saw this dump towards the downside and forming lower highs for Bitcoin and also lower lows, and then the next high is also a lower high for Bitcoin. And yes, this means that Bitcoin is in this downtrend at the moment, so we could expect, yes guys, Bitcoin could form an even lower low. But guys, first of all, we're going to draw the trend lines to find out what we could expect in the immediate short term. And if we're going to drag a trend line all the way from the high all the way down, then yes guys, we can see that we are forming this downward sloping trend when Bitcoin reached this lower high, and we saw this retracement towards the downside. But guys, we're going to draw this upward sloping trend, which is also our support for Bitcoin, and which is round about the levels. Let me just do it in green, so that we see that this is our support. And guys, yes, we could expect that Bitcoin comes all the way back down to the 27,600 US dollar level. So this could be our worst case scenario, that Bitcoin comes all the way back down to test this support line. But guys, first of all, if we're going to see this breakout from the symmetrical triangle, we could expect that Bitcoin will see a major pump towards the upside. If we're going to see the potential breakout roundabout in these areas, we could expect that Bitcoin will see a major pump all the way up to the 33,000 US dollar level. And yes guys, this would again be the top of this resistance level, this trend line that we have been holding for quite a while. And guys, yes, we could expect this consolidation in these areas, because yes, we would be over our major resistance. But guys, we're going to first go on the lower time frames to find out what we could expect in the immediate short term. So on the 4-hour chart guys, we can see we perfectly bounced off from the support all the way back up, back above this trend line. But guys, we saw that Bitcoin broke towards the downside, breaking this very important trend line. But guys, it looks like that we are holding this support round about the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. And guys, this trend line which comes all the way from this major breakout point where we saw this major pump all the way up to the 31,000 US dollar level. So yes, we could expect some support round about these levels of 28,000 US dollars all the way up to the levels of 28,500 US dollars. But guys, let's go on the even lower time frames on the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin. And yes guys, as you can see, we had the dump this morning, and we can see that Bitcoin consolidated in between our resistance and support. And at the moment guys, yes, it looks like that Bitcoin is trying to hold this level, and if we're going to break out over the 13 EMA, we could expect a pump towards the upside. And yes guys, our next resistance area is going to be all the way up here, because yes, we can see we have some major resistance, this very important trend line where Bitcoin has to come back above. And guys, yes, we also have the 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart exactly in these areas. So yes guys, we could expect this pump all the way back up to this major resistance area, and then Bitcoin has to consolidate back above the 29,000 US dollar level. But guys, overall, let's go on the weekly chart to look at the bigger perspective of Bitcoin. So over on the weekly chart guys, we have formed this perfect bottom, and afterwards we saw that Bitcoin had this massive pump towards the upside, reaching nearly 100% from the bottom. And yes guys, we are at the moment in this major resistance area. But guys, if we zoom out, then we can see in the previous bull run we first formed this high where we can see this wick came all the way up to the levels of 65,000 US dollars, and then we saw this dump towards the downside. But then we could see that Bitcoin formed this bottom and had this push all the way up to our high of 69,000 US dollars, and then we saw this dump towards the downside. But guys, after we have broken this very important trend line, we could see that Bitcoin had some major resistance at this trend line. But guys, first of all, let's find out where the price of Bitcoin is at the moment. And yes guys, we are in this major resistance area. But guys, if we're going to get this bounce all the way from these areas, round about the 25,000 US dollars, if we're going to see this worst case scenario that Bitcoin comes all the way back down to this major support and also the 13 EMA on the weekly chart, then we could see this turnaround and that Bitcoin will come all the way up to our next major resistance area, which is round about the 35,000 US dollar level. Guys, we could expect that this will be our next resistance if we're going to see that the price of Bitcoin will turn around and get this breakout from the symmetrical triangle, which I showed you on the daily chart. Then we could expect the levels of 33,000 US dollars, and this could mean that Bitcoin will see this push all the way up to this next resistance. And yes guys, my price predictions for this year is going to be exactly this major high we had round about the 48,000 US dollar level. So guys, yes, I could expect, and this year we're going to see this consolidation up and this break all the way up to these levels until we're going to see a small retracement, and then we're going to see that Bitcoin will get this parabolic run into the next halvening, which we're going to see next year, and then we're going to start with this parabolic run breaking our all-time high. So yes guys, dollar cost average into Bitcoin exactly in these areas, because yes, if we're going to see the worst case scenario play out, we could expect a dump all the way down to the 25,000 US dollar level or even the 20,000 US dollar level. Guys, this would only be a dump of 19%. But if we're going to see this breakout towards the upside from these levels, we could expect, if we're going to reach my high of the year, then we're going to see a 61% pump towards the upside, and afterwards we could expect some major gains. So yes guys, dollar cost average in these areas, don't wait for a massive correction. And if you want to buy Bitcoin on the spot market, make sure to follow my link in the video description below, where you receive a massive deposit bonus if you sign up with my BITGET link. And guys, yes, talking about this massive pump towards the upside, let's go to the next coin, Pepe coin, because we saw this major pump towards the upside. Guys, from Wednesday we saw this pump from these regions all the way up, and we could see that we had this 691% pump towards the upside. So guys, should we invest after we saw this massive pump towards the upside of 700%? And the answer is no guys. First of all, this is just a meme coin and we had this major pump. We can just as well see a major sell-off, and this is just a rug pull, and this coin will come crashing all the way back down guys. So that's why we're not going to enter this hype, because yes, these people that bought low, what are they doing in these areas? Yes, they're taking profits and they're selling into this hype, because if you want to sell any type of coin, you need someone that buys the coin. And that's why we're seeing this FOMO at the moment guys. So yes, if you want to take a small investment, and guys, please, this is no investment advice, please take only a little amount of money that you invest into these meme coins. I would wait if we're going to see a major retracement all the way back down. If we're going to draw the Fibonacci retracement level from these lows all the way up, then we could expect, yes guys, we are maybe going to see a retracement all the way back down to the 61.8, and this would be my first buying area. But guys, my next buying area would be all the way back down at the 78.6. So that's why buying in these areas would be the best opportunity if you want to get into this coin, because yes, we could see another 1000% over the next bull run. But guys, we could also see a major dump towards the downside. And why? Yes guys, everybody can create these coins, and yes, this would be my areas where I'm going to load up on Pepe coin, because yes guys, this is also our previous high, where we can see that the price movement was exactly in these areas, and we formed this lower high, and also we broke out from this major area. So guys, yes, these are going to be my first buying areas. If the price comes all the way back down into these areas, I would buy a small amount, and if we're going to see a further dump, I would add a little more in these areas around about the 88.6, which is also the breakout point from this massive move of 700%. And yes guys, if we go over to CoinMarketCap, we can see that this coin started way back here. So guys, does this mean you have to enter exactly now? No guys, wait for all the sellers to take their profits, and then we could expect that Pepe will come all the way back down into these areas. But guys, please don't fall for all of these meme coins. Bitcoin is still going to be the best asset class that you hold in your portfolio, and that's why guys, dollar cost average into Bitcoin. If you like this content, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly, activate the bell, because yes guys, I'm going to do a dedicated video about Pepe coin, so you don't want to miss exactly that. Make sure to be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.